As a small biz pro, I saw we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, I saw we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur.
And good afternoon and welcome to the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. Glad to have you. You are here today and Gilbert will be here in just a few minutes. You're here. We're doing the special edition show today for the Los Angeles Black Business Expo, which is going to take place tomorrow, Saturday, September 12th, 2020, and it's a virtual event, so you don't even have to leave home, and it's going to be fantastic. There are going to be over 50 speakers and 48 breakout sessions, and we have some esteemed speakers, Les Brown, Dr. Frazier, Dr. George Frazier, and Jewel Diamond Taylor. So you truly want to jump on in there and you want to go get your ticket, and we're going to talk about that in a few minutes and get us all started. But welcome to the show, and we're glad to have you. We're pretty excited about this. I've been working all week long with Barbara Lindsay and Reginald Grant, and they're all are just excited about pulling together the expo. The last time I think I attended an expo was in 2013 maybe, and that was when Mr. Harold Hambrick actually had it over at the West Los Angeles church, and it was really cool. So I'm glad that the legacy is still continuing, and just a good place for black people to meet and enjoy themselves and connect and network with the other people and hear some great information. And right now that's what we need, right? Because we have to do business a little bit differently than we've been doing it, and so we have to retool, and we have to reinvent, in some cases, our business models. We got to do a lot of things, but we got to think about how do we move forward in this economy. We have to create, for us as black people, an economic empowered place where we can maneuver money, move money, buy, own, take care of our children, take care of our health. So we got to be real focused, and I'm going to call this the silver lining of the COVID, is that now we don't have a choice. We've been forced to do this. So you guys got to get on board. I know you've been kicking and screaming and yelling and doing all that sort of stuff, but it's just the way it is, okay? So go on over to the website, which is, and I'm going to put it up right now real quick so you can do that while I'm waiting for my co-host to show up. And then I'm going to bring on our guest. So go on over to the website 21labbe.com. Get your ticket, $20. That is the price of two Mickey D Max, 2 hamburgers and a French fry and probably a sweet tea. So avoid that, eliminate that for today, and actually go and take that money and spend it on a ticket for something that's going to grow your business and grow you. So excited about that. Alrighty, so next thing, I'm going to bring in my first guest, and then we're going to bring in the second guest. But the first guest he's got a lot of work to do over at the Business Expo. So we're going to get him in and let him get back out. So I am bringing in Mr. Reginald Grant. Hello, Reginald. How are you?
I am exceptional for a fellow guy. Only way I know how to live, baby. You got to take the lemon and make some lemonade.
So are you excited about this expo?
I am excited about the opportunity to empower people, to help our black community to be economically empowered. It's all about money, right? It's all about empowering us and giving us an opportunity. We don't need a level playing field. Let's get out the way.
I like that. Just get out of our way. So tell them, first of all, Reginald, tell them who you are and what you do and why you are and how did you get involved in the Business Expo?
Well, again, I'm Reginald Grant, former New York Jet, former University of Oregon Duck. I earned my way through college that way. And it's just an honor and opportunity to work with Barbara Lindsay and her team. Dr. Rosie Milligan, it connected us together, and I've been in and out of business for many, many, many years. And I guess you'd call me a serial entrepreneur. I've owned everything from a tax service to a software company to an Italian restaurant once.
A whole entire restaurant, huh? A whole entire restaurant.
Italian
restaurant. Oh, Italian, okay.
So I was really cooking your lasagna. You didn't know it's mine. Behind.
Really? Okay.
Oh yeah. So I've had many, many, many business opportunities and taught English for 17 years, and I understand the dynamic of the power of education, the power of opportunity. And again, it's always about opening doors, because people have opened doors for me. People have empowered me and uplifted me and gave me the opportunity to perform. And that's what we want to do with the Los Angeles Black Business Expo, is give people the opportunity to get the knowledge so that they can perform. I was early in the tech sector back in 96, 97, 98. I worked for the company that invented undos in the software sector. So we used undos in Microsoft Word. I worked for the company that did that. I worked with some of the African-American males and females that were in that sector, and there weren't a lot of us, but there was always somebody in there doing things, and there weren't a lot of us, but there were people making stuff happen. Even Dr. George Fraser, I met him in 1996 in San Francisco at a conference. 10,000 people, there was 5 of us in the room. And of course, the doctor found me, we had dinner together. But anyway, I can go on and on and on.
So how did you get over to, how did you and Barbara Lindsay get together and come up with this brilliant, wonderful idea to be virtual as opposed to live?
Well, again, we are in a new paradigm. You have to adapt, to shift. And that was Bob Grant, the retired NFL Players Congress, co-founder, Super Bowl champion of Super Bowl V, that has a great saying: the lane is here. The money is flowing in this lane. The money stopped flowing in this lane and it's flowing over there. Turn your turn signal on and get in the other lane. Get where the money is flowing at. So we have to pivot, adapt, and adjust. The technology and COVID-19 and all of the stuff that's happening has provided an opportunity for success. An opportunity for you to do, as I say, don't ask for permission, ask for forgiveness, and go get the money. So, you lost that.
I like it.
Expo. I'm sorry, I could just keep talking on and on and on and on.
Well, before you go on, let me introduce you to my co-host, Mr. Gilbert Buchanan, and say hello, Gilbert.
Hello, how are you doing, sir? Welcome to the Business Zone.
I am so happy to be here, and I'm honored and thankful that you allowed me to come in today.
Oh, not a problem. Well, you bring a lot of expertise and experience to the table, so we want to jump on your shoulders and try to see what we can learn from you.
Well, we're all people on other people's shoulders. People that made tremendous sacrifices to put us here to have the opportunity to have success, to have the opportunity to compete. America is not a perfect place by any stretch of the imagination. We know that. Pimples and warts and all kind of bad stuff. But if you have the drive, determination, and put yourself in a position that people that have knowledge, you can create opportunities, you can be empowered, you can make some money. It's America, baby. It's all about the money.
So what can we expect this weekend at the Black Business Expo?
We have a main stage featuring the renowned Les Brown, Dr. George Fraser, Byron Nelson, Marquise Oden, former NFL player, that'll talk about how you can empower yourself. We have 48 other speakers. We have a main stage. We have panels. We have breakout sessions. We have an expo floor that's virtual with businesses and business owners, networking going on all simultaneously. So it's like Zoom on steroids. It is the next dynamic of how business will be done how events will happen. I was in March 14th in in Washington, D.C. for the Watkins Award, the premier award for the last 29 years for African American male scholar athletes, the last major event to happen in Washington, D.C. before the Republican convention. And it was just tremendous that we were able to pull that off. And 150 black people in this room being empowered by these young men that had 4.0s, go to Stanford and do neurosurgeons, our doctors, our politicians, our business professionals. Of course, we put about 100 and some people into the NFL, the NBA, and all that stuff. Super Bowl champions, first round picks. But these are dynamic young people doing the right things that are being highly successful and making things happen in a positive way.
Fantastic. Well, I'm excited. I'm one of the speakers, what are we looking to get out of this for our business owners? I know I work with, and Gilbert as well, we work with a lot of our businesses that are in usually our businesses, they need assistance, a lot of assistance, and I'm seeing that some of them are embracing the new changes. So what are we hoping that we achieve here?
Well, again, the biggest thing is to connect them with other people that have the knowledge and resources that they can use to move forward in this new paradigm. You have financial people, you have people helping them with credit repair, understanding credit, how you can get credit from businesses. BBVA will be there in the house talking about how you can get money from their institution. We have some innovative people there that will be helping them to navigate the process of going into this new paradigm.
All righty, so cool, awesome. I'm looking forward to it. So, Mr. Gilbert, do you have any questions, or I can't hear you? What happened? No, can't hear you.
We gotta love technology. You gotta love it. Gotta hit it.
You gotta love
and
technology.
Is something will go wrong. Adapt, adjust, and keep moving. It's just like life. You gotta pivot.
Still not. Check and see if your mic changed. Go into the settings and see if your mic changed.
I see what happened. It was muted.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Okay. So what I wanted to ask is, what would you suggest to entrepreneurs coming to this event on tomorrow? What do they need to do to prepare themselves in order to get there, based on your experience?
The biggest thing you do is come with open mind. An open mind to learn from these people. When do you have an opportunity to listen to Les Brown for $20, to George Fraser for $20, and some of these other people, multiple CEOs, multiple millionaires? We all come from the same place, nothing. We all have made pies out of the fruit we pick off the tree from the seeds that we planted in the ground. It's just have an open mind. Have a pad, have a pen, record some of this stuff, take some notes, listen to as many of these sessions as possible. 48 different sessions from 48 world-class professionals, 48 successful people. Everybody in here has done something, has fallen, has gotten up from falling down, has made money, has lost money, has opened the doors and tilled the soil so that they can come here and opportunity to grow. And it's all about the mental mindset of understanding that you need to be empowered with the knowledge to know how to pivot your business for success. Business fundamentals are always the same. The specifics of your business is what you have to be an expert in. But business fundamentals, expenses plus revenue equals profit. Not complicated. How do you set up processes and procedures to take you to the world of success? And that's just about positioning yourself and continue to learn, continue to grow. I learn stuff every day. I put myself in rooms where there's success. In 2018, I was at an event in Beverly Hills, and a gentleman that has done billions of dollars in business said real simply, you could be the janitor or you could be the speaker, but you have to be in the room. Nowadays, you have the opportunity to be in the room in a virtual way. So if you're not willing to spend $20 and improving yourself, improving your knowledge and skills so that you can move forward, then you really don't want to be in business. For those that really want to be in business and understand the dynamics is the job is not guaranteed. What I can depend on is me every day, getting up, going to work, and my kids want to eat more than once a day. So I need to make a little bit of money every day. It's not that complicated. So come with open mind, come ready to learn. Again, you have 50 different people that look like you, that have went through the trials and tribulations that you have, and have persevered and had success. Some are experts in many, many, many different areas. That makes sense?
Make a lot of sense, sir. Make a lot of sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. So in your bio, I saw that you're also an author. What is the book that you? What did you? What's
well,
your?
just say that.
You laughing, huh?
Entrepreneur, your guide to success. You can always find me at reginaldgrant.com. Focus and position yourself.
All righty.
My book before that was my daughter's books. My 15-year-old, 17-year-old wife, my wife, my daughters, we have a family of authors.com. We write books because we want to be empowered and empower other people. So my 15-year-old has a new book coming out. My 17-year-old has a new book coming out this month.
Oh, fantastic! Wow, what are they write? What are the books? Wow, and what have they written their books on?
Well, again, they're young people. I don't care about what they write about. I just want them to be engaged and engaged.
You wanted them to be published,
right?
That's
We just want to engage their brains. So they just write creative books. You know, the middle child whines about being the middle child and getting no attention. Your other one writes about some crazy fantasy stuff. It's not about what they're writing. It's about the power of knowledge, exercising this muscle we call a brain, positioning yourself to win. And my job as a dad is just to position my kids to have an opportunity to win. So I can't ask for more than that. And that's what we do. Again, Entrepreneur, my latest book, Your Guide to Starting Your Business. Okay, so it's about that process. And it doesn't matter what you do. Go ahead.
Are you going to speak on that? Are you going to speak on that tomorrow, or what are you speaking on?
I think my topic is managing your brand, staying focused. People have a difficult time staying focused. ReginaldGrant.com. You can find me all the time. Again, we'll be at the Los Angeles Black Business Expo, 21LABBE.com. But again, it's about empowering yourself for success. And continue to learn. I'm an old guy. And I learned every day. When I was teaching English for 17 years in the classroom, the kids taught me more than I taught them. So it's about having an open mind.
Now, when did you start your
I'm
business?
excited.
Well, I've been in business my whole life. Since I was 18 and I went to the University of Oregon, and they wouldn't give me enough money in that scholarship, and I had to figure something out. And so some guys asked me to come and be involved in the project. And of course, you know, I ended up having that company for about 3.5 years while I was in college, and it kept me in grits and biscuits.
So
it wasn't difficult for. I'm sorry, Gilbert. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, how were you able to market your business, and to what target audience did you market it so that they would understand what pain you were solving and what value you brought to the marketplace?
But again, you have to figure out a problem, solve the problem. At that time, I had a little marketing company. I had a hot dog restaurant, and I had a barbecue restaurant, and they needed more student clients. I figured out what they need. I actually even had a marketing class, and the professor told me, now this wouldn't work. But every week I was eating hot dogs and French fries and having some greens and some barbecue and cornbread. I was eating like I was at home because I was providing the service to these companies. So they gave me some food, they gave me an office, they gave me a little gas money, so I was good to go. So I provided a service that they needed, which is how to reach the people that they want to sell a product to. And I did that. I had those accounts for about almost 2 years. So I laughed every time I went to that professor's class because he told me, oh, this won't work, but I'm eating off this. So this is, you can't be deadened by education. Education is a foundation to give you an understanding of what you need to do to succeed. There is no experience like doing it. Success only comes after failure. You have to try and figure it out, and then you get to what works. But rarely do people go from an idea to exactly what works. You go through many, many progressions of that. So success and branding is focus. It's just like social media, right? So I want to use social media to make my business. You have to try 10 different things of one thing in order to figure out what exactly works for you. So there's no instant silver bullet.
How many times would you say, Mr. Grant, how many times would you say that you've tried before it actually works for you?
Sometimes you try, you help with 2 or 3 times, right? Sometimes it was a hit, and then sometimes it was, 6, 7, 8, 20, 25. And so, then we finally got it. I have a company, ESI Pitch, and the esports instruction I've had since 2000. So part of that was we do pitch type events around the country. So I see 100, 150 business plans some months that come across my desk. So it's always a trial and tribulation, up and down, trial and error process is the word I'm looking for. So there is no instant bullet. There is no exact formula. 90% of it is effort and the willingness to continue to move forward. Success only happens after failure, so you got to figure it out. Do it. This doesn't work. Do this. This doesn't work. And again, if you're doing things, at some point you're going to figure it out. Today, I'm in the office of the Retired NFL Players Congress. We have a license for NFL properties. We are in partnership with JA's Design, the largest manufacturer of licensed jackets outside China.
Wow.
So if you see a jacket on the market, the odds are that it came from this little factory. There's not even a sign on the outside of the building. I drove by this thing 10 times a month and didn't realize I was here. And then all of a sudden I come in here and it's like, wow. So again, you never know where the opportunity comes. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So the transition, obviously you're a serial entrepreneur. So the transition from playing professional football wasn't to becoming an entrepreneur wasn't a difficult task for you, right? Did you already have businesses in place while you were playing football?
Well, again, I knew that I would not be playing football till I was 50. Right? It's not something. The average guy pays 1.5 years. You need 3 years to get pension. So football is not a place and opportunity that you can hang your hat on. And we did not make the money back in the old days that they make now. Now they make life-changing money. $750,000 minimum salary, 1.5. There are only 2,800 jobs in the NFL at the most of any given season. That means you got 1,000 people hurt, 1,800 people playing. There's only 800 jobs in the NBA. So that's a very small funnel. I realized early on that football was my car. I'd drive that engine till the tires fell off. I'd get out that car and go on about my business. So at the University of Oregon, I went and went to class. I go get a job and work somewhere. No, I went and got the knowledge. So, do I look like I'd have missed any meals in the last 56 years? No! I'm not the richest person in the world, but I can eat people. And I can tell people I don't like, bam, get out my face. Right? I don't have to take anything. When I was a teacher, I used to drive my administration crazy because they come in here and I get all the success with my students because I empower each and every one. I value them as people and human beings. So I get them to succeed. And then I'd be a pain in the administration's behind. But my test score said, he's winning. so you have to, and I was always comfortable because I have never not had something that I was doing on the side. A business that I own, a bet and a gamble on me and the effort and energy I was going to put forth. We as Black people, as George Floyd, are a success. Nobody could have survived what we survived without being a great race of people. And so I'll just leave it at that.
Agree.
Regardless of any obstacle you put in front of us, we succeed, we achieve. And I'm a competitor by nature. So even in business, I just transitioned that, beast in me to focus that energy for success. You can focus it on one side, or you can focus it where you can learn the unwritten rules of the game so you can figure out how to get paid too.
I love it. I love it. So you guys, you want to come tomorrow, you want to go right now over to the website, 21labbe.com to get your ticket so you can find out more what's going on. That's just a sampling of all of the energy that's going to be there tomorrow at the Los Angeles Black Business Expo. Reginald, you are inspiring. And I hope that you're mentoring other young athletes, because I tell you, just that line, ride that thing until the wheels fall off and then move over into a new car. I think that is phenomenal.
Just get out that car and say, I'll take that one. Life is a series of transitions. The only thing you're guaranteed is change, right? Change is going to happen. Yeah. Adapt, adjust. Don't be so crazy that you can't adapt to change. My mom's 82. My sister is about 60 this year. And they called me last month and said, 2 weeks ago, I called them and my mom was like, we're making a change. And I said, okay, I'll call you back. But we just moved. We just rented a new 2-bedroom apartment. We sat on the house and we're moving. We don't want to cut no grass. We don't want to dig no snow. They live in Seattle. So they're changing. They're enjoying quality of life, and that's what it's all about. Today is cash, the best day of my life. Yesterday is a canceled check I can never retrieve. Tomorrow is a promissory note I may never collect. Today is cash, the best day of my life. And I'm Reginald Grant. You can find me at reginaldgrant.com. You can Google me. I own Reginald Grant. I'm here. There's 25,000, 50,000 Reginald Grants out there. You Google Reginald Grant, my shiny bald head's gonna show up. I gotta love it, baby. Gotta love it.
Well, Reginald, we're gonna let you go over and finish up your making sure everything is ready for us tomorrow at the Black Business Expo. You are a riot, my brother.
I have no sense, and I love it. It's okay. You can be you too. Don't let anybody tell you who you have to be. You can't do this.
All right.
No. This something happens somehow. I will see you at the Los Angeles Black Business Expo tomorrow. 21labbe.com. Reginald Grant. I'm out. Peace, love, happiness. Thank you so much.
All right. See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you tomorrow. And buy your tickets, guys.
If that's not motivation enough to attend this event, then I don't know what else is.
It's like, yeah, boy.
But he does make a lot of sense in a lot of things he said, though. He said life is a series of transitions. The only thing that's guaranteed is change, and that is true. So I really do think, I hope our audience is listening to that, because it's true.
I think so. And it's just, and I think that's how people should be about, that's how you should be about business, right? You should be just embracing and excited and motivated, and however the wind is blowing, you just catch the wind and ride it until you ride the wheels off, and jump back and go the other way.
Ride it until the wheels fall off, and then once it fall off, you jump into a new vehicle and you keep going.
I love it. So
he left us with a few good nuggets, though. He said yesterday is a canceled check that I can't cash. Tomorrow is a promissory note that I can't get paid on, and today is cash that I'm gonna take advantage of.
All very words of wisdom. So thank you, Mr. Grant. And so you guys really want to sign up, and go get your ticket, and so you get to see all of that energy. And he's not going to be the only speaker that's going to have all that energy. I think there's 4 other football players, so all that testosterone, football testosterone, going to be running all over that stage. So grab your ticket, everyone. So
Crystal, do you have your number of days left? Did you put up your clock yet to let the voters know?
I haven't put it up. I haven't yet. We're gonna talk to Dr. Oden, and then we're gonna close out with the clock and what one needs to do. I got my clock though, but we're gonna bring in Dr. Oden. So the Los Angeles Black Business Expo was established in 1989 by Barbara Lindsay. She was a businesswoman in the community, and she launched it. It was small. I think about 20 speakers at a local hotel, and then it started to grow. And I believe from the history that she told me about it, then Mohammed Nazardine, who is the co-director and founder of Recycling Black Dollars, he actually then came in 2 years later and became a sponsor. And then after that, I believe Hal Hambrick, or I might be wrong, I think Dr. Oden probably came in next. And according to Barbara, he was the first one that really saw her vision and really helped move it to the next level. So he will be able to give us some numbers, but I attended every year. And in that it was hundreds of us for 3 days at the Los Angeles Convention Center. It was a phenomenal experience. On Sunday, there was a wedding. There was all kinds of stuff that went on. And Barbara, and no one knew that Barbara was behind the scenes. Just this big event that we went to every year. And no one, because she always stays in the background. So I want to bring on the gentleman that really had faith in what she was doing. And I think for the next several years until Hal Hambrick actually did it in 2013, she carried it on for a long time. So with that, welcome, Dr. Odom. How are you today? Let me get your name. There you go. And welcome to the show. Welcome to the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert.
Thank you, both of you, for having me on. But I want you to know I'm mad at you.
Why?
How can I follow Reginald Grant? This ain't right. This ain't right. I should have been on first. I mean, the energy he showed, the enthusiasm he showed, he should have been selling that.
He lit the place on fire.
Come on, Reverend.
He did.
Come on, Pastor. I know you fire up your church members.
Now you got to take it to the next level.
but you don't ever preach after a fast song. You want the song to be slow.
That's
so
right.
There you go.
That's right.
It's all over. So let me see what I can do. Let me see what I can do.
I know you right. When you were pastoring a church, you must have razzled dazzled and had people jumping up and down. I know you got it in you because every pastor do. It does.
Again, thank you for inviting me, and it's really brings tears to my eyes. First of all, because I was there at the beginning of the Black Business Expo some 31 years ago, and to now see a new generation of African Americans grabbing onto the vision really makes me feel great. And yes, I was there with Barbara Lindsay when she first started at a hotel room. She had this vision. And at the time, I was president and CEO of the WattsHealth systems. And I and Harold Hambrick, who was one of our vice presidents, saw what she was doing and said, we want to support her and give her all the support we can give. And each year, we would come back as a corporate sponsor to help move it a little further. But after about 4 years, Barbara said, I can't really carry this anymore. There's just too much going on. So we as a company bought the expo from her. And then we invested our money in order to move it from the hotel to the convention center. And there for the next 15 years or so, we threw all we could in on it. We brought in our business partners, we brought in other businesses, we brought in our employees, and we went from this gem of an idea that Barbara had, and then built it up to where we were at our zenith at the Tom Bradley Convention Center in downtown Los Angeles. But let me tell you a couple of things as we describe, this journey. I think the most important thing that sort of drove us is that you can't be what you've never seen. And for
Mm.
our African American community, in terms of Black businesses, it's one thing to talk Black business, but until you see a gathering of Black business people together and look at their products, hear their story, like you heard Reginald and his story, then all of a sudden ideas pop up and bubble up. And so we had at one time more than 400 vendors there of Black businesses and people that wanted to do business with the Black community all throughout the convention hall. Some years we had 80,000, 90,000 people coming on those 3-day events. Overall, we saw more than 1 million people as we did this over the years. And those 3-day events were not just about Black business, but also Black culture. And we went from teaching kids on the first day about what it was to be an entrepreneur, to highlighting various businesses, to highlighting churches on the Sunday of the event, bringing in gospel singers, bringing in plays, bringing in musicians, all of that. So it was not just Black business in the narrow sense of business, but Black business in the broadest sense. What are the things that we do as a people? And brought that under one tent and worked it as best we could. And we were blessed to have that happen and received by the community so well. And Barbara is the birth mother. And when she called me a few weeks ago and said that she's on the game again, she wants to do it. She wants to do it now in this virtual space. I said, I have to come and be supportive of what this is all about. So that's why I'm here.
Reverend Dr. Clyde, does your organization have an entrepreneurial program?
Well, I am now retired. Okay, and so as a retired pastor, I'm no longer in that game. I now teach at a seminary. I also do some research and I do consulting work. But before that, in the various churches that I was a pastor of, we had businesses going on. And in particular in Los Angeles, when I was a pastor at Bryant Temple AME Church, we would have Black Business Sabbath, which was part of what we did to encourage a number of churches to celebrate Black business owners, celebrate entrepreneurs, pray with them, and encourage them. So that was part of our program back when we were doing it in the late 90s and the early 2000s.
Okay.
So, yeah, and I tell you, Gilbert, I don't know if you were in LA at that time. This would have been the time frame from 89 to about
2014, 2014.
Were you in LA at that time?
I came here in 99.
Okay, so did you ever attend a Black Business Expo?
I think I have attended about 2 or 3 of them, yes.
Yeah, because it was awesome. You came in and the roles was divided up. You had your businesses, you had your community-based organizations. I mean, from business to recreational, because my ski clubs, all the ski clubs were there, right. And I was skiing at that time. You had your church role. Yes. It was just awesome.
And
it was
restaurants.
Restaurants.
Yes.
In fact, one of the reasons, other than you guys and Barbara, one of the reasons I came every year was because I knew Muriel Shabazz was going to be there with the fish. And if I didn't and that was the only way you could get, Muriel only does events. So you couldn't get her fish unless you went to a Black Business Expo. That was the only way you got it.
and she did it. She did it up well. It was one of the most popular spots there, along with Watts Coffee House and what they were doing there with Desi and her work, and also the Derek and the Caribbean. Derek's Jamaicans had his business there. So all of those were so there was the smell in the air, the aroma, there was the buzz of all the people, and then there was the crush of the people. and it was a lively spirit each and every day and each and every time. And so it was Black culture in its finest, and we just had a grand time. And the whole idea was to take people who already had businesses, encourage those that wanted to start a business, and have it work together. And so, what's going to happen tomorrow is the new iteration of that.
Yes, and if I recall, when Hal did it over at West A, he wanted a virtual event, wasn't he? Working to the the other day I
Ah,
talked to Barbara and I said, wait a minute, I think
yeah,
Hal wanted a virtual
yes, yes.
event.
Black Business of America Expo. He wanted to go virtual. Matter of fact, in the one of the last times he and I had a chance to talk, and it sort of hurts me right here because that was my best friend. Uh,
Yes.
we were on top of the Family Savings um, Bank building, and he was looking over the panorama of the city. And he talked about the fact that it's now time for us to go virtual. And his idea was to, in fact, go to this new space and create this new space. And so, what you're doing this weekend is really carrying on the dream that Harold had. And
Now,
Harold Hambrick was quite a visionary.
now, how long ago did he have that vision, that idea?
It was 2013,
Hmm.
2014, up until
Wow,
the time he
that's
passed.
very
Yeah.
visionary. That's
Oh,
very
oh,
visionary
no
because
doubt.
not many people were doing a virtual business or
Anything.
virtual events or anything.
Yes, yes. And what was driving the thought process for him as we looked at the cost of putting on the expo each and every year, the cost of space, and at the same time looking at trying to reach beyond just the physical space of Los Angeles and go to the entire nation. Why not hook up the world and have Black businesses have access to the entire world with regard to their businesses and their ideas? And so Harold was thinking far beyond his time and for
Yeah.
our time. So really, in the spirit of Harold Hambrick, this is just wonderful, and I'm
You
very
know,
happy to see it happen.
Reverend Dr. Oden, if we look back on the history of Black people or heritage, we've been very um, adjustable along and flexible along the way because we were posed with so many barriers, so many obstacles, and every time an obstacle come at us, we had to readjust ourselves so that we can continue our dream.
Yes,
And that's exactly what he was doing right there.
yes,
A
yes,
barrier came by, and the barrier was the cost of space. And he said, you know what? I'm not gonna limit my group of
right,
people
right,
that opportunity. So let's
right,
go virtual. But a
right.
lot of people didn't see the dream.
Well, the thing is, you either adapt or you die.
There you go.
And we as a people
Yes.
learn how to adapt. We know
Yeah,
how to change. And
yeah.
so it was in that spirit that, look, let's not say no. Let's don't look for the no. Let's look for the yes and
It,
move to the yes.
and
And
that's why the turtle and the crocodile lived for so many millions of years because they were able to adapt through each evolution. They were able to adapt. You see what I'm saying?
yes,
They're
yes,
still around,
yes,
just
yes.
like we are.
That's right. That's right. And so now it's not just being around, but finding ways of expanding, finding ways of thriving, and not just
Yeah,
looking at survival, but
yeah,
thriving.
yeah,
And so what you're doing with the business zone,
yeah.
what we're doing today, excuse me, is just part of that whole thing of
Thank you.
moving to the next level. So I'm so proud of you guys
Thank
and
you.
what you're doing,
Yes,
and just want to encourage it wherever we can. And
yes,
if we look at the model again that we used back in the early days, we would go to the schools, and the schools were happy to, in
yes,
fact, have students learn about entrepreneurship. We can
yeah,
do that today because most schools are virtual. So if you took this package to the various school districts and said, we want to talk about Black business and entrepreneurship in a
yes,
virtual manner,
yes,
I'm certain that they would adopt this
yes,
kind of model and
yes,
and take it to other places where people don't believe they have the access. including those who are behind bars,
Yeah.
who can begin
Yes.
taking this spirit, this
Yeah.
wonderful drive, and
It's
taking it to our community.
it's creating a value.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Definitely a value. Actually, I have I do a lot of work with the Los Angeles Urban League. I'm one of their consultants as well, because I believe in us working, and that was, I think, for me the best part of the Business Expo was we were together, right? We were
Yes.
working together for
Yes.
3 days, and
Yes.
the organizations working together, showing that yes, we do support each other.
That's right.
We every year we were doing it, and I thought that was amazing to me. That was phenomenal to me. But with the Urban League, I actually there's a team of us, and we do a biz camp every summer, and we teach kids between the ages of 14 to 18 how to be entrepreneurs. So normally it's a live camp. We usually do 50 kids a summer, but because this year we had COVID, we had to adapt like everyone else, and we actually did 35 kids, and it was the most incredible experience. It was 30 days completely virtual on Zoom, and the kids at the end competed. Gilbert was one of our consultants, and the kids loved him, and they had every kind of business, from robots to robots that cleaned up the streets to there's a set of triplets that had golf T-shirts, and they call themselves the Triple J's. It was just awesome. And on their sale day, they made about $3,000. Well, the triplets actually made about $5,000 on sale day selling. I know, huh? So, our kids, and so this is what inspires us, because as Gilbert said, for all that we've been through, we are still here.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
we just have to embrace that our ancestors went through so much, we go through so much, but at the end, if you stay connected, stay connected to each other and inspired, then we can work together. So it's just awesome that we're there. And you guys even had, as I think I mentioned in the when I was introducing you, there was even a wedding, right?
Yes, there was a
there
wedding.
a wedding on that Sunday, right?
Yes, a beautiful wedding, and the setting was right. The witnesses were there, and it was a great time. Yes. now I have to give credit again to Harold Hambrick, because Harold always thought outside of the box.
Yeah.
And bringing a wedding there, a wedding, yes, a wedding, and it just worked perfectly well. So we. Not only the wedding, but I want to go back to the children, the young people again. Our young people oftentimes don't see images of African American men and women in charge. This virtual Black Business Expo is a way to provide them with new models. Oftentimes on television, on the screen, there are only certain kinds of stereotypes that we see. But here's an opportunity to show people that look like them, both young and older, and what they can do, and to catch their imaginations and show them new vistas and new ways. So I hope that as we journey along the line here in terms of the LA Black Business Expo, that we will look at really dedicating space for young people, not only just inviting them in, but having them to participate in a way that really means something to them. And I know this is going to be a great development.
I think so, and I remember, and the reason I remember Hal came to RBD meeting that year, and he said, "Okay," and everybody was looking at him like, "Virtual?" We didn't know anything about. We weren't using Zoom. We're like virtual. Okay, Harold, that sounds interesting. But here we are, and I know he is smiling down at us, going,
"No doubt,
see,
no
guys,
doubt.
we could have been in the beginning part of the innovation.
We could have been ahead of the game. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, that's what he's
ahead
saying.
of the game.
But the good point is the game ain't over.
It's
not over.
So we just take our genius, our expertise, and we just make a new evolution, new
So
ways of doing things.
we're in the third quarter of the game now, right? The third quarter.
I don't even think it's halftime yet. We got
I
much.
love it.
We have much to do, and we have such resources in our community, creative resources. Again, not just looking at brick and mortar in terms of businesses, but looking at all those from entertainment, all those from churches. Matter of fact, going back to churches for a moment, because we had a little conversation before this program began about how some churches are adapting now to the fact that they can't have crowds anymore, that they're
Yeah.
going to have to be able to have worship through this virtual media.
Yeah.
And so it's important to train pastors and
Yeah.
congregations.
Yeah.
The old way is not coming back.
No.
And so churches will be defined by how they connect this way. So to
Yeah.
be able to bring in ministers and pastors of various faith expressions and show them how they can, for a little investment, create ways of communicating with people, not only who were from the neighborhood, but now throughout the nation. And if you have something to say, there's a way to say it and to show them how to do it. So I'm suggesting, Crystal, that in the work that I've heard you do, that there's a whole new area to move into, and unfortunately, many pastors don't want to admit they don't know.
Right.
So you just have to open the door for them
Right.
and show them this is how you can do it. It's low risk, it's high reward, and not only that, you're going to reach people who right now are locked down in their homes and will be locked down for some time.
I see we have
And
some
it's interesting.
some viewers sending their respect to you, Dr. Oden. They're saying good
Yeah,
job and
Gregory
good
Sneed.
afternoon.
Yeah, Gerges
Oh,
said hello, good afternoon, and
much love.
Veronica Springer is saying Black Unity was demonstrated at the all of the Black
Yes,
Business Expo.
yes. Well, what
But I'm going to
Veronica?
go back for.
Okay,
Go ahead.
go ahead. Well, I just want to say this. One of the exciting things about the expo were the various business people who interacted with one another. Because normally when
Yes.
you're working 6 days or 7 days a week, you don't have a chance to leave your space to
Yeah.
go and see somebody else. But
That's
here they
true.
could go to talk to one another,
Yeah.
compare notes, and created new partnerships out of that.
Yeah.
So I'm saying I'm really doing all I can to encourage those who will join tomorrow and to then keep it going and keep pushing on.
Right.
Yes, for sure. And Gilbert, I just learned something new from Dr. Oden when we were talking earlier about churches. So there is a online tithe and authoring app that allowed what's it, Giveify, right?
Yes,
That's
Which is
black owned.
Black-owned business.
Really?
And they've
Well,
been doing
Yeah.
very well. Yeah.
Well, we need to get them on this show as well as a guest so we can let people know about them.
Matter of fact, reach out to them. I'm sure they'll be happy to.
Yeah, so they're called Giveify, right?
Giveify.
Give love five.
Giveify.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like Give LA Fi, right?
But it's Li-Fi.
Oh,
Yeah.
Little Fi. Oh, okay.
Yeah. But just
Yeah.
Google them, give them a call. The original creator is a African brother. He brought in others, and they've been doing great. They do businesses with nonprofits as well as churches. Makes it easy for people to give, and I would just recommend. That's just one prospective customer for you to talk to.
Sounds
Well,
great.
we're definitely gonna do that because we always want to support. In the vein of Muhammad Nazarene, you got to put $1 in another black hand every chance
That's right.
you get, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But one other thing, if I could, just remembering, there was always a sense to remember our ancestors, those who were there before us. One of the things I hope that when Barbara moves with this new iteration, that we'll remember those businessmen and women who had gone on before us and have awards to current heroes to talk about our past heroes and sheroes in business, so that we keep their spirit and their names alive, because that's so important.
I
I
think it
love
is
that.
very important.
I
That's
love
why
that.
it's just amazing. That it's wonderful that she brought you in, and she asked me, and I'm very honored that she asked would I interview you, and I felt very honored. Even Ian Fox stepped out so I could interview you. He like turned it over to me, so that's pretty. And I believe he's watching right now. Ian, if you're watching, you can put in a
Much
chat. But
love,
Ian
much love.
Fox, much love. He wanted
But
to, but he's watching. He called me earlier and said that he was watching. But he says, Crystal, I want you to interview Dr. Oden. So I was like, oh, wow. Wow. So I'm
much
glad our
respect,
platform,
much respect to
much
Dr. Oden.
respect, and I'm
Thank you.
glad
Thank you.
our
Thank you.
platform has a place in this new growth and this new place that we're going to. I'm very honored that Barbara also asked. So with that, we interviewed you. We interviewed Victor Parker from the SBA. We interviewed Michael
Michael
Lawson
Lawson
from
from
the
the
Los
Urban
Angeles.
League.
Yeah, so this clip is gonna run all day long at the event with all
Mm,
of you guys, and so I
mm,
don't know, maybe
mm.
there's another place next year when we do the expo again. We can run that, and maybe we'll do more than one day. It's just as you said, the opportunities are abundant for us
Yes,
all.
yes,
And
yes.
next
Now,
year, the business zone will be a much more prominent and much more successful program for entrepreneurs in this region.
Well, I just
yeah.
pray for your success and what it is you're doing. I want to encourage you to continue doing it. And thank you so very much for the opportunity to share a
Yes.
few minutes with you and your
Just
audience.
just so you know, Dr.
Oh,
Odom, our mission here on this program is to help small and and women-owned businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. We provide them with advice from coaches, business coaches like ourselves, Crystal and myself,
Yes,
and we connect them with resources. So that's our mission here.
yes, yes. Well, that's just wonderful. I would invite you to give Broadway Federal a call because of
Yes,
their latest merger
yes.
and
yes,
creating this
Mhm.
large, wonderful financial institution.
yes.
That's
Crystal
just
is working
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah, I'll give Wayne Bradshaw and I think her name is Ruth McLeod. I'll give them a call
mhm.
and get them
Yes,
onto the show so we can talk about it
yes,
because I think that's just pretty awesome. Awesome merger, and that's where the space we need to be moving into is to how we become self-contained, and if it's no more, we're not going to be competing with the white banks, but we are if we have our own facility where we can go and get our own loans and we have our own criteria, understanding our people and where our businesses are, and at the same time helping our businesses get all the documents in place, get everything that they need, and teaching them and showing them how to do business on a different level, because it's just most of our businesses just kind of fall into business, right?
Right.
But that information and that experience is not, and knowledge that other businesses have done or business owners is not always available to our business. Ian says, and I will put it up so you can see it itself. He was watching it. He said, very good show. Glad I had the idea. Thank you, Crystal and Gilbert, and God bless you, Dr. Odom.
Thank you. Very good. Very good.
yes.
Thank
Amen.
you, Mr.
Amen.
Fox. Thank you, Mr.
Yes,
Fox,
yes.
for your
So I'm
support.
helping. I'm helping Ian. He's gonna be broadcasting. I'm gonna broadcast it for you, Ian. He's gonna be broadcasting a podcast soon. I'm working with him to get him in this space because the man got content for like the last 40, 50 years. So we want to
Yeah.
make sure that
Wow.
everybody knows the talents of the man that goes through our community,
Yeah.
documenting everything that has
Yeah.
happened. Dr. Odom,
Right.
I'm sure he's got tons of pictures because I know Ian. On Smug Mug, there's probably pictures everywhere, so we want to make sure he gets that into space. But
Yes.
before we go to my countdown, but I do want to say this for churches. The one thing, I have a couple of clients that are churches, Dr. Odom, and one of them, and we chuckle about this. They've been my client now for about 15 years, and so when he was looking for a bookkeeper, he knew his records needed to be together. I was working at the Center of Hope up on La Brea and Crenshaw, and where the Faithful Center used to, not Faithful Center, where Crenshaw Christian Center used to be. So
Yes.
I was working there as the bookkeeper for them. I was contracted in. So my little church, his name is Pastor Cecil Miles. He called up to the big church. This is his words. I called up to the big church because I knew they had a talented bookkeeper up there, and I needed to find out if she could come and help me too. So I have been his bookkeeper for the last 15 years and called me for everything. So when this happened, before COVID happened, he was saying, so how do we get online? And I said, well, the website that I built for you, it has, and it's a church built type of website,
Right,
and
right.
the program is actually through a church association, and so it's simplified, but they've been growing it, right? And
Yeah.
so I said, well, I think there's a link. And he said, really? We can go live? And so he was already in that space, already talking about it, and so now they're live. And then he called me a couple weeks ago. He says, can you come down to the church and show us how to get our money on, because people are driving their money to us. We need them to do it while they're inspired. So we just want that to be the business model for our churches out there.
That's right. That's right.
Call up to the
Exactly.
big church and ask them for help.
Well, just on that point, and I want to really go back to the Broadway Federal, the model of merging. You know, we always want to
Yes.
be independent, but sometimes there's a need to come together and
Yeah.
take our expertise together, because that's another wonderful model to look at.
It takes a
Merging-
village.
Yeah, merging is not a defeat; it's another way of another victory.
Yeah, takes a village, man. Takes a
Yes,
village.
yes.
Exactly. And that's what we are right now. We should be merging and uniting, and as Veronica said, black unity. And then after we unite, then we need to unite with our brown brothers and our Asian brothers and sisters, and then let's
Yes.
do what we're supposed to do so we can make sure that we have a place in this country, and not have to do what we're doing right now. So that's where we need to be.
That's right.
Wow, this has been a great interview, and thank you. See how
Wow.
comfortable it was?
You guys made it so easy. Yeah. I just got on the bus. You guys were the bus drivers. You know.
and you know what? We did our safety test and all of that. We did all our safety precautions, so you were safe with it.
Thank you. Thank you.
And it didn't matter that Reggie had such glips and he's full of all that energy because you had your own.
I'm still mad at you guys. Though.
So, Dr. Oden, is there any parting words you want to share with our audience? Any information about you, how to get a hold of you?
No, I would really just point toward the event tomorrow and
Yeah.
encourage everybody to be part of that.
Yeah.
And that will just bless me and bless the memory of Harold Hambrick and the idea of us working together to promote Black businesses, Black entrepreneurship, and the Black community.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much. But before we close out, first of all, we want everybody to know they were tuned in to the Business Zone with Crystal.
And Gilbert Buchanan, your
Gilbert,
small
that's you.
business paramedic.
Right. But before I leave, I have to share my calendar and my because we gotta stay focused, guys.
Calendar. We gotta stay focused. November 30th.
My countdown calendar.
It's very important to all of us.
We are at November 3rd with all the craziness going on, and it's hyped up to some levels that we just can't even, we would have never believed that this would be going on. But we are 52 days, 5 hours, 55 minutes, and 31 seconds from the 2020 presidential election. Everybody go out and vote to make sure that we can have a peace of mind January 22nd, 2021. So let's go vote. Let's make sure you're completing the census because we need to make sure the money circulates in our community. We need to make sure we vote for Prop 16 so that we appeal the 206, is it 206, for affirmative action so that we can make 209, yeah. 209, so we do that. And there's another crazy bill that's sitting on the governor's desk. I think it's called SB 145. It's something about changing the laws for what is consenting for a child. So we want to protect our children. We don't want pedophiles getting the advantage over them. So vote, right to the governor, tell him to veto that bill that's on his desk right now. But most importantly, we had 52 days, 5 hours, 54 minutes, and 19 seconds from Election Day. Walk it, crawl it, take a caravan, bus loads from the church, pick up the mail-in ballots, take them down to Norwalk or wherever your registered officer is. Don't worry about mailboxes being picked up. Take it straight to the source.
and if you don't know how to register, if you've not yet registered and you need to get registered, it's very easy. Just go to rockthevote.org, rockthevote.org. Go online, rockthevote.org, and register. It's very easy. It's very simple. They even have a little QR code that you can put on your cell phone, and that allows you to get all your information, and it verifies that you're registered. So it's very easy. rockthevote.org.
All righty, so go register and do that right now. If you need to get driver's license, go take care of that. Go get your passport. All of those
government ID.
Your government ID. All of those are valid forms of ID in order to make sure you register to vote. And make sure if you feel you're registered to vote, make sure that you are, so that there's no shenanigans going on. We don't want no mishaps on November 3rd, 2020, because this 2020 has been a year that we don't want to duplicate in 2021. That I'm just saying that, people. So, so with that, thank you guys for sharing in with us. Make sure you go over to our YouTube channel. Thank you, Dr. Oden. We are so pleased and so honored. Go over to our YouTube channel, hit the notification button, and subscribe, and then hit the notification button so you will be informed every Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock that we are on the air, and we're having another party like we did today, and interviewing some amazing people that you might not have otherwise got to meet. And then for those that do know you, to get to say hello.
and Dr. Oden, stay contained after this show, because I've got something to ask you. Okay?
You got it.
All righty.
Okay.
So we're going to round out. We're going to play our exit music. And so you guys, we'll see you guys next week. Tune again tomorrow. The Los Angeles Business Expo. Get your $20 ticket.
Expo.
Black Business Expo. Get your ticket, your $20. Forget the McDonald's and go straight on and get your ticket.
Forget the Burger King.
Forget the burger. And go get the knowledge. All right, we're out, guys.
As a small biz pro, so we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, so we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur.
All right.